These are not the same Golden State Warriors. This is a squad that if Steph Curry doesn't have a good night, it's not the end of the world. And that is very contrary to these Warriors teams in the past few years after the Kevin Durant era. Because they got guys like Jonathan Kuminga and Jimmy Butler that can step in and take over games down the stretch. And that's what we saw last night against the Lakers in the first game of the season. And it's also what could put the Warriors into championship contention once again. And in my opinion, the biggest difference between last year's Warriors team, which was kind of mid, it was good, but in the Western Conference it was kind of mid, and this year's Warriors team is Steve Kerr is finally playing Jonathan Kuminga. And Jonathan Kuminga can really make a huge impact on this Warriors team. Here, he's learning how to play the Warriors way. He's in transition. Last year, he would have taken this all the way to the rim and hoped for a foul. This year, he sees Steph running alongside of him, hits him early, and Steph knocks it down. And then here he is once again, attacking DeAndre Ayton, attacking a mismatch. He draws in Luka Doncic, sees Podziemski wide open, kicks it out, shot fake, one dribble, three ball. That is Warriors basketball, and that is what Kuminga is starting to play. He finished with 17 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal in 33 minutes and shot 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. Finally starting to be able to play within the system instead of trying to be the system himself. Popping there off of the pick and roll, and then right here, I mean, he is reading these beautifully. Of course, he's got Draymond, who technically makes his read, but he sees Vincent, and I believe that's Rui, both hop high on this screen. Rui doesn't get back in time. Kuminga cuts back door and finishes at the rim. That's beautiful. That's all the Steph Curry gravity, which we'll continue to talk about, but hats off to Kuminga for taking advantage. Last year, he shot 30% from 3 on 2.4 attempts, and then last night, he made 4 threes on 6 attempts. If he develops into a three-point shooter and a guy that can stretch the floor, that adds a whole nother dimension to this Warriors team. Not to mention that he can attack Luka when Luka is put on him. And then a smaller guy in Gabe Vincent, he gets right downhill and finds Al Horford for the easy layup instead of trying to finish a tough one. Last year, he averaged 2.2 assists per game. Last night, he had 6. And at 23 years old, this development, if he can be the young guy to play with these old guys, inject a little bit of youth into their legs, then look out, this Warriors team might have something brewing. And speaking of the old guys, man, Jimmy showing out in his first game of the year for the Warriors. He played 30 games last year in Golden State. People forget he didn't have a full season to really get acclimated to the squad. However, they were 23-7 with Jimmy last year, so with a full season of acclimation, imagine what they could be. And I'm not overreading into this too much because this is not a good Lakers team, but Jimmy finished with 31 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, and a steal in 34 minutes on 7 of 14 shooting from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, and made 16 free throws. And they've proved that you can't just take Steph away and beat the Warriors now. When Steph's having an off game or when Steph is out of the game, then it's Jimmy Butler time. And Jimmy Butler can do what Jimmy Butler does and can take over games. Here he is. He's going to read this beautifully. This looks like a little bit of a flex action. So Kuminga is going to come off the Steph Curry screen, and then immediately Al Horford is going to set a down screen for Curry, and Al Horford is going to clear out. Instead, what happens is Curry cuts back door. Jimmy sees this beautifully and finds him right at the rim. Jimmy loves to run in transition as well. Steph finds him right there. And then when Steph is being taken out of the game, like you see Rui Hachimura up here with Steph at the hash, then it's 4-on-4. You get one less help defender, and that's just barbecue chicken for Jimmy Butler, especially if he's got the mismatch on Gabe Vincent. One dribble, baseline fadeaway. That's pretty much a layup for Jimmy at this point in his career. And then once again, he's got the mismatch with Gabe Vincent, goes down low and gets a tough bank shot to fall. And then they're all going to be attracted to Steph Curry. He's got Luka Doncic on him, and he's going to go right to the rim. Ayton can't help off the strong side with Jonathan Kuminga right there. And then you got Rui and Gabe Vincent both on Steph. So as Jimmy blows by, he's either got the layup or he's got Draymond for a wide open layup himself, and he just makes the easy play. And then this is what could be very dangerous for the Warriors, is that Steph-Jimmy pick and roll. Right here, Jimmy's going to set the screen. Both the defenders are going to blitz Steph, so he's going to drop it off to Jimmy, and as Austin Reeves slides in, he's got the cutter Gary Payton from the corner, and Gary Payton makes the correct play. And I think the biggest change from this Warriors team compared to previous Warriors team in the post-KD era is that Steph doesn't have to do everything, right? He can have off nights and they can still win by 20. He finished with 23, 3 and 3 in 32 minutes, and that's not exactly an off night, but 6 of 14 shooting from the field, 3 of 9 from 3, and the Lakers were very obviously planning to take Steph away. Everything they did revolved around that. This play right here actually started with a little bit of a UCLA cut, and then the great read by Curry right here that we talked about earlier, where it's a little bit of a flex action with Kuminga flying off the back screen, and then him supposed to be coming off a down screen for a 3. It's a nice little wrinkle by Steve Kerr there to throw that in with starting with the UCLA cut, and then finding Steph eventually on this beautiful backdoor read right here where he just loses Marcus Smart flies into Rui Hachimura. Then here he's working the two-man game with Kuminga coming off the DHO for the layup. And then right here, this looks like it's going to be an early action zoom screen in transition where Pods is going to set a down screen and then it's going to get into a DHO from Draymond Green right after it. And Gabe Vincent overplays this. So what does Steph do? He cuts right back door. Kuminga is posting up Reeves to keep him occupied. And it works out beautifully, all playing within that Warriors system. And then, what is this? What are we talking about right here? Who in their right mind, up 7 points, decides to shoot a 40-footer with 50 seconds left in the game? I know the shot clock was winding down, but you had 6 seconds. You could have done that. But it's Steph Curry, and it's time to go night-night. And then Gary Payton II, he was big last night, plays it. You know, he's only 6'2", but he plays a little bit bigger than that because he's got that 6'8" wingspan. Volleyball spikes that one there. And then he's just a great piece of this Warrior system that we've been talking about, where right here he's going to go set a back screen for Curry, and it gets blown up because Luka and Ayton both fly out at it. And then as you can see here, he and Draymond on the same page. He's just going to cut right back door, and there's nobody left to stop him from getting the dunk. He's got some ups as well. And then right here, playing off of the Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry pick and roll, and he's going to get an easy layup. Now, if you've made it this far into the video, make sure to the like button, leave me a comment down below, and that subscribe button. As you can see here, a large majority of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. If that's you, let's fix that. And then let's talk about Buddy Hield as well, because we're in that point of the season where Buddy Hield looks like he could be a very big piece. It's the part of the Buddy Hield cycle. It's inevitable. By Christmas, he'll be like, why is he even on an NBA roster? But he averaged scored 17 points, had a rebound and a steal and a turnover, 6 of 11 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3. Basically what he does is come in, and if he's hot, he's going to change the game. If not, he's not going to do too much. But last night, he changed the game. He helped the Warriors go on a little bit of a run here at the end of the third, beginning of the fourth. Nice skip from Draymond, one dribble, step back 3 over Jake LaRavia. It's getting too easy. And speaking of Dre, he is such a big part of this Warriors team. He might still be one of the most underrated players in the league because nobody gives him his props, but he helps Steph Curry get so many easy buckets, and now guys like Jonathan Kuminga, Gary Payton II that we've all looked at. Again, this is supposed to be the zoom screen. Instead, Dre finds Curry, and then right here finds Payton on that backdoor cut. All of these are pieces of what Draymond does, where GP2 is going to set the back screen. Instead, Draymond's going to find him, and then just knowing when to go downhill, gets the and one there with a chance to push it up to about 15. Finished with 8 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 blocks, and a steal. 3 of 6 shooting from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. The definition of being able to impact the game without the ball in his hands. And then right here, he's just going to ice it down the stretch, knock down the big 3. As for Pods, we looked at this flyby, one dribble jump shot earlier, and then being able to attack and find Buddy right here. He's another piece that just fits into this system very well. And then the rookie, Will Richard, the national champion, knocking down a big 3 here in the fourth quarter to once again put it up to 15 points and kind of help keep this Warriors lead. Al Horford had a decent role last night. Just a guy that knows how to win. He's way past his prime, but he knows how to win basketball games. And yeah, that's why I think the Warriors are a completely different team this year. If you did enjoy at any point, make sure to the like button, leave me a comment down below, and the subscribe button. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.